Well, how you doing, Buckaroos? How the heck are you? So I just found this. Well, actually, I've had it before, but I've never purchased a bottle of it. 10 cup whiskey typically runs at the store I bought it at. It runs $32.99, but they had it on sale for $21.99. I think they're discontinuing it. I don't know if I can read this or not because that writing is very little. I don't have the greatest lighting in here, but whiskey, 10 cup whiskey is a blend of two great American whiskeys, each aged in number three charred oak barrels. A high rye bourbon distilled and aged in Indiana is blended with a small amount of Colorado single malt whiskey. These whiskeys are then cut with Rocky Mountain water. Tin Cup is named for the mining pioneers and the tin cups from which they drank out of. So I've got some poured on the rocks. It's taken me a while to set this thing out. Having some camera issues, so I had to start over. So I do have some poured. I have an ounce and a half poured in the tin cup that I'm going to drink their way, but I do have an ounce and a half poured neat that I thought I'd do. But I really want to get to it because I've had milk more than I particularly like because I want to get pictures and anyway, I'm getting a little sweetness on the nose. I'm certainly getting some oak, a bit of that char that they talk about. Let's get some vanilla and honey-like notes as well in those. Oh, not bad. It is an 84 proof whiskey. A lot of sweetness. I got a lot of sugars right at the end there. Let me try this again. Light caramel, some vanilla. Again, a lot of sugars near the end. Very sweet near the end. And when you put on the rocks, it tends to bring that out. That's nice. Again, for 22 bucks, would I pay $35 for this whiskey? To be honest with you, for the whiskeys that are available right now, probably not. But this is my first drink of it. And I haven't had it neat yet, so that my mind could change at that point. But 22 bucks, that's a steal. Yeah, actually, I'm liking it more the more I go here now. To be honest with you, I don't want, I do want to drink this because I don't want much more ice going into it. Tell you what, actually, that is what I'm going to do. I'm actually going to drain this off, drink the rest of it kind of chilled, because I really don't want any more water in that. Because I'm at that what I call the sweet spot, where you've got just that perfect amount of whiskey, or perfect amount of ice melted that really brings out those sugars. So anyway, let me try some neat as well. I may get bolder flavors if I had it in a proper glass, but since they give me the little tin cup, I felt like I ought to drink out of it. The aromas are deeper, neat. That shouldn't be a surprise to any of you. I'm certainly getting some caramel notes, some oak, vanilla. Oh, here you go. I wasn't feeling as much. Yeah, actually, right near the end. I'm really getting some cinnamon notes that I wasn't feeling early on the rocks, but I really get it here. Yeah, get a lot of spice right near the end there. So anyway, I open my beer like I sometimes do. But I'm not necessarily pairing it with a beer. I'm using this kind of as I'm having an Irish palate cleanser. I'm having a beer so and the alcoholic Irish when he switches to beer. Yeah. Anyways, let me pour a little bit of my pilsner here or something to drink in between sips of the whiskey. So anyway, let me go back to my chilled. The color really is lighter, but I didn't want any more water. That's why I decided to go ahead and pour it in here. But I don't mind it chilled. So very sweet, very sweet whiskey. A lot of vanilla. It's almost like a sweet cream vanilla flavor going on there. I almost feel like these again feel some honey in there. That's what I'm getting. I feel some oak, but the there you go. The spices is very light. It's almost like a sweet cinnamon, whereas the spices are bolder drinking and neat. It's not necessarily a surprise, but those are the changes you get. That's why I kind of like to try whiskeys both ways, just to know. I mean, you never know unless you try, right? So there you go. Let me finish this chilled one up before it just becomes not chilled and just don't want that whiskey at some point. Let's drink her up, shall we? Oh, cheese whiz. Yeah, a little drink of beer here. Oh, I picked up this Pilsner yesterday. I may have to go back for another 12 pack for the weekend's over because it seems to be going down easier to Tijuana Hooker. Bur Oak, Old 63 American Pilsner. It's 4.5% Pilsner. It uses 2 row Pilsner and some flake corn. So there is a little corn in there, but it's used in such a way where it doesn't really distort the. I mean, it's not used in a way that macros use corn. Let me just say, it's a very clean, easy drinking pilsner. Putting it on the rocks does change it quite a bit. In all honesty, yeah, it does feel it has the flavors. It really is. I don't know. I mean, I personally, even though at $22 isn't crazy expensive, and some people make cocktail of whiskey like this, I don't know if I would. I mean, it does. The flavors are very nice. At only 22 bucks, it certainly is one that drinks very easy neat. It is nice on the rocks too if you want to really bring out those sugars and lighten the body a little bit. But let me be clear, you are going to lose some of those spice notes that are so prevalent in the middle and then in the finish on this beer. You do lose a little bit of texture, though. It's very velvety, very nice. The texture is very pleasing, and it does water it down a little bit. It does become very thin, even with just a little bit of ice. And quite frankly, when you can find a whiskey for $22 that drinks well neat, that really is a whiskey you ought to be buying. I think I said earlier I wasn't sure if I'd buy it again. Yeah, I would at 22 bucks. Would I pay the 35 that it typically runs? Honestly, probably not, because there are a lot of other whiskeys at around that same price point. That, for my purposes, I would prefer. I'm not going to say better. I'm going to say for my purposes, would prefer. But for 22 bucks, I mean, it really is a steal at 22 bucks when you consider, there are other whiskeys, very big name commercial whiskeys that run between 20 to 25. I would actually buy this over any of them any day of the week at the same price point. How about that? I'm gonna take a drink of my old beer. So I hope you all survived Valentine's Day. That was earlier in the week. Some people love the holiday, some despise it, loathe it even. Where I fall, to be honest, is probably somewhere in the middle. Excuse me, I got to scratch my nose. I'm trying to get out of camera, but I could. Yeah, I don't necessarily hate the holiday, but let's be honest. I mean, it's a Hallmark holiday. I mean, we don't get the day off, and it's just another day that you're supposed to spend money, or you look like a cheap bastard. I am kind of lucky in a way. My wife really isn't a fan of frills, right? So she doesn't really want jewelry. She likes practical things. So she doesn't like flowers because, well, they're dead. She'd prefer a live plant. She'd prefer me take her to the store and let her buy the amount I'd spend on flowers on seeds for her to start. That's the kind of wife I have, so which I'm grateful for, to be honest with you, that she doesn't, she's not materialistic, really, that she wants things that are good for something. You see all these diamond commercials and everything else. I mean, really, let's do some good with our money, right? I mean, I'll be honest. I'll be honest with you. I mean, I would rather buy her. I would rather take her out for a nice dinner if that's what she wants. I'd rather take her away for a weekend, or even a nice vacation for what some of this jewelry costs, and let her have nice memories rather than things. But that's the type of people we are. We'd rather have the memories of doing something than having the things. How about that? Tom, that's just that American, by golly. You have to be materialistic and selfish to be an American, Tom. It's what we do. Anyway, I digress. Let me set that beer down. I just wanted a little sip there. Oh. Yeah, it is very nice. Actually, I do want. I'm going to have some on the rocks at a later point, in a proper. I mean, rocks. Neat in a proper neat glass. But yeah, they give me the tin cup. I felt like I had to drink it their way once, right? It seemed like a moral imperative at the time, and I always like to try some. Try some on the rocks. So what the hell? So here we go. Hey, here's to y'all at tin cup. Cheers, and how you do, buckaroos? I am Donna Whiskey Whisperer, Whiskey Evangelist, prolific whiskey drinker, purveyor of wisdom, and all around good guy. Jeepers Creepers. On that last sip, I really picked up. Earlier, I said caramel. Right there, I kind of felt more toffee, to be honest with you. I do like the spice notes drinking this neat, though. I got to be honest. I loved how putting it on the rocks really brought out that sugar, really brought those sugars, the sweetness, especially near the end. But I lost almost all of the spice once I added the ice to it. Um, Drinking it neat, those spice notes are gorgeous. You do feel some cinnamon, but I'm also feeling some other things. I'm also feeling some allspice, some clove, even some nutmeg. It does, and it's something that white oak can contribute. Especially, I don't know what they're using. I say number three, but Missouri white oak really gives you those big spice notes. So whatever they're using also provides those great spice notes. Again, I'm trying to whiskey whisper. Hope you're having a good one, man. I'm trying real hard.